What's up everyone, G2 Vex30 here, coming at you with my patch 1.7 competitive support tier list. I've been wanting to get this one out, and here it is. Patch 1.7 will be what hi-rez and hi-rez qualifiers are played on. I do not want to go into full and complete detail on every support, but I will give general overviews about the champion and why they are where I put them. I will also be showing if they went up or went down since the last tier list. I hope everyone enjoys this video, and expect a patch 1.7 overview tomorrow night. Most things said in here will be my opinion on why I picked these champions and put them where they are, and I will provide facts why they are that way for most of the champions, changes and whatnot, why they're there, and just general hard facts will be there as well. And again, this is mainly an opinion based video, so please do not take things to heart. If you would like to post your own tier list, feel free to do so down in the comments. If you do enjoy this content and love what I'm doing on this channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Keep up with what I'm doing. Also, be sure to check down below for other social medias in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into the tier list. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am here for my support patch 1.7 competitive tier list, and man, I am so excited to be sharing this with you guys. We did not do one for patch 1.6, and there were some reasons behind that. The patch was too little, there wasn't many changes, nothing changed in 1.6. I could have made a video saying all this and not changed a single thing, but that's not very exciting, so we weren't going to do that. But we're here in patch 1.7. This patch is actually the hi-rez patch and hi-rez qualifying patch, so this is really important for competitive right now. Let's get right into this. So number one, Furia. Furia actually has had a lot of issues lately, and because of that, we're gonna drop her down 2 from where she was last time. She's gonna be placed in S-. Reasons behind that: she's had consistent nerfs over the past 4 patches. She's had loss of healing range, a 1-second increase to her cooldown on her right click, less damage at range, ultimate cannot charge when she's ulting, her cherished bonus healing on her legendary was halved, her right click healing card that gave a shield was also halved. All these changes did not really have to happen. Some of them were necessary, but some of them weren't. hi-rez seems to do this to some champions, from time to time at least. One good example is Maeve. Maeve was so good on release and they just nerfed, dead. These champions get consistent power, anti-power creeps. Like, take for instance Skye. She might be finding her way into the meta, but they're power creeping her. They're increasing every single patch. You're making her a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And as soon as people start noticing her, maybe she's going to be OP. But they've done the opposite to Furia. They've just nerfed her over and over and over. And she's in a terrible spot right now. She's not in a terrible spot, right? General overview of this list is no support's really in a bad spot, but there's obvious choices over Furia right now. And we'll go into these next. But Furia's dropped 2 in this tier list, and she's now at S-. She was at S+, I believe, yeah. Let's go on to our next one, Grohk. Since he got competitively unbanned, at least assumed competitively unbanned, he's gained 3 spots. I put him up to A+ here. He was all the way down at B because he wasn't very good with Spirit's Domain, but since he got competitively unbanned and now people are getting used to it and play it more, he's actually kind of good. He's not awful, right? He's not terrible, but he's good. He's a viable healer. But again, the problem with healers right now is there's so obvious better choices in every single scenario. Like, there really isn't a situational healer, right? There's a couple like Grover and maybe like Avoided by Seris, Jenos. But besides that, you're typically running the better supports, which we'll go into. I almost spoiled it, but you'll run the better supports. But the reasonings really is he gained 3 slots because he got unbanned. Nothing changed. Grohk's just struggling right now. The problem with Spirit's Domain is you can't do damage while you're healing. You can throw right clicks, of course, but that's not really effective damage. That's kind of just like small poke. It's irrelevant. And a really low-key issue a lot of people don't realize is the range on the heal for 1 and for 2. Allies can body block the heals way too easy. Now, Totem Grohk can be decent, but it's on the same level, and it really doesn't improve him or make him any better. That's why he gained 3 slots because he got technically quote-unquote unbanned because he got a bug fix in patch 1.7 because Spirit's Domain was causing his... Whenever he attacked enemy with Spirit's Domain, it increased the damage your allies did to that enemy. That's why he was banned, plus his ult was going super fast. But Grohk only gained 3 spots because he basically got unbanned. Well, I can't confirm and say he got unbanned because I don't know, but I assume he's going to be unbanned. But that's it for Grohk. Let's move on to our next one, staying in the G's, Grover. Grover is, again, just like Grohk, he's going to be moving up 3 spots to S. Grover, before he got banned competitively, was already starting to find himself in the meta. He is a really good competitive healer because teams usually play together, and the amount of damage, utility, a great ultimate, and healing Grover can provide really pushes him into the meta. And since he got his Vine fixed, if everybody didn't know, Vine was randomly causing people to crash, so he had to be banned in competitive because the pausing system isn't very good. And you can't play a character that randomly crashes people in the middle of a 3-3-99 point fight. You can't have that. So he's kind of seen the same treatment as Grohk. He's gained 3 spots because he's probably going to be unbanned in competitive. But the reason he's way higher is because he was already being picked before his ban. Last season in the PPL, the fall split, you probably would have seen more Grover if he was unbanned. He's just a good support. Some people prefer him, other people don't. But I think if he gets unbanned, it'll have some huge implications in the qualifiers and HRX. So be on the lookout for Grover in these next coming lands. I think it's going to play a pretty big part. Next one is Jenos. Now, Jenos is one I'm just disappointed in. He was meta for so long. I enjoyed the champion so much, but he's just not good right now in the meta. But he's going to stay where he is because he has niche uses. He's going to stay at A+. He hasn't gained and he hasn't lost. Now, the main reasons Jenos is at A+ and not B is because he can be used in 2 specific comps. 3 DPS and 4 DPS. Jenos is probably the best healer for a 3 DPS or a 4 DPS comp. And those comps, when they were in meta, Jenos was in meta as well. There is a correlation there. He is just really good at healing multiple DPS that are split across the map. That's why he was meta, and that's why those comps were meta, to be honest. But besides, he cannot heal double tank efficiently. He's not good at it. His healing is just not enough to supplement 2 tanks and 2 DPS. It just doesn't work. But he's not super low because he does have niche uses, so I keep him at A+. Jenos, just please get good. I want to play you again. And for our next one, Big Daddy Damba. Damba is one of actually my favorite champions, and he's always been a staple pick in Paladins competitive. He is probably one of the best all-around design champions in the game. He has a high skill cap, but cards like Eerie Presence help players along the learning curve. So we're going to put him at S+. Damba is pretty insane right now, and let's go into why. He's had 4 small buffs and fixes that make him the best healer overall right now over all the other supports. In patch 1.6, they buffed Damba's damage. They buffed board healing by, I'm not sure the numbers, but they increased it by a tiny bit. Do the math, 24 healing a second or something, but they buffed it, so that helped. It's a small thing, but the next buffs help that make that a big deal. The next 3 are fixes they introduced for Damba. First one, in patch 1.6, they made Damba's Dread Serpent, his ultimate, go through shields. Before that moment, when the middle of fear landed in front of a shield, it would block and stop the fear from hitting anything behind it. That was a huge deal for Damba players, and as soon as tank players caught onto that, it was so hard to fear tank who had a shield up. Because he can just turn against it, and the middle of the fear would have landed in front of the shield, and he can just turn. He'd never get feared. In patch 1.7, they fixed an issue. If the champion you were trying to heal is too close to a wall or on elevation, it would not register. That means they do not get healed, and you do not get your cooldown back if you're running Eerie Presence. And I'm pretty sure all competitive Dambas running Eerie Presence, because they should. Good card. You miss. Allies dodge. You try to go for a risky heal. Run Eerie Presence. Don't think you're bad for running it. And the final change that also came in patch 1.7, the HRX patch, is Damba is now able to heal through enemy shields. That was a huge change for Damba, because in competitive at least, enemy tanks would purposely put their shields, or like a Nando, say you're trying to heal a Makoa on point. Their Nando would put a shield up and get between you and that Makoa, and the Makoa would just die because I couldn't heal him through the shield. But since they made a change, now we can heal through shields. Happy days for Damba. It actually made him so good. I'm so excited that they made these changes. It makes me so giddy, to be honest. Patch 1.7 was one of the best patches hi-rez released for bug fixes. Hi-rez, you deserve that. Thank you so much. You made everybody happy with it. But enough talking about Damba. Damba is just my favorite, sorry. Let's move on to Pip. Pip, he actually gained a spot on my list. And we moved him up to A+. Now, Pip didn't get any buffs. He didn't get any nerfs. He wasn't changed. but I'm starting to see more and more value in the little Vulpine. He is underestimated in the support meta right now. I've been thinking of ways to try to make him meta. Now, I can't say what comps, I'm not going to leak any of that, but I've been trying to think of ways, and I want to try to use him a bit more than he's used right now. Because Pip actually, I think, has the best ultimate in the game. Not best ultimate, but one of these best. You can chicken somebody, and if 2 people hit him, they die. It's that simple, and in competitive, it's so easy to coordinate. That is just an insta-kill every single point. His healing keeps up with other healers, it's just harder to confirm. Because first of all, when you're shooting Pip shots, you're not going to hit every single one. You're human. You're not going to hit everything. People will dodge it. People will get in the way. They can be body blocked. All of that, combined with just his lackluster healing, way of healing, I mean, just keeps him at A+, actually moves him up to A+, and he's kind of just stuck there with Grohk and Jenos right now. Seris. Seris hasn't seen any changes, major changes too recently. She did have her base heal range increased, which really helped her, but she's gonna stay where she is, and she's gonna be at S+. Now, Seris is one of those champions that has only been ran once or twice in competitive, and I was one of them. I think there are uses for Void Abides. I think it's a very extremely useful legendary in certain situations. But again, like I said with other supports, other supports just outdo her tenfold. That's the problem with her. Other supports just do what she does and better. That's just the issue with these supports. That's why they're lower. It's so hard to balance supports in this game. It's like you can nerf Damba, which please don't nerf Damba. You can nerf like Ying or like Grover or something, and then make a small buff to Jenos or Grohk, and this list can be completely different. I don't think there's ever going to be a more even support though list than there is right now. It's very condensed, as you can see, because all these supports are somewhat viable. I don't think any support on this list today is not viable at all, and that goes for Seris. If you follow my Seris videos and watch my Seris, I play it differently than most people, and I think it's the way to play her. But that's where Seris is at. That's the reason she's staying at S-. She hasn't moved anywhere. And last but not least, everybody's favorite waifu, apparently, Ying. Ying has not changed. She's going to S. She's one of the best healers right now. I think Damba, Grover, and Ying are the core of the support lineup when it comes to competitive. I think when you think of competitive, you think of those 3 healers, and you're going to see the most of those 3 healers, I believe, at hi-rez and the hi-rez qualifiers. Ying has one of the best support ultimates in the game compared to how easy it's used. I have the scale on how good compared to how easy, and it's super good and super easy. It makes it one of the best support ultimates, just super easily. Like it's just amazing. So good for Ying. I'm glad they haven't changed her yet. And she just, in competitive, when you ult as Ying, it's so easy to coordinate a dive with your tanks. You're like, I'm about to ult. You guys ready to push? Yeah, ready to push. Woo, let's push. Ying ult. They dive. They take little to no damage because they have that constant healing over time on them. So Ying really hasn't changed from 1.5 to 1.7. So she's going to stay where she's at S. And that's it. Unless you want to count Moji or Khan, and I'm not going to because that's no fun. That's it for my competitive support tier list. This has to be one of the closest patches I think supports have been for a while. I think it's super condensed, and that's good. That's great for balancing. But it's hard to make support situational. There will always be a better support. And that's one problem with the balancing, but it's not a bad thing. But I really like where the support meta is right now. I like how nothing's not viable. I love that every support is viable, and I have more options to play in competitive and casual. Thank you, hi-rez, for that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. We're going to go a quick overview of these champions real quick and just give you the rundown. Quick TLDR. Damba. Amazing kit. Best healing numbers. Great ultimate. Great survivability. Got a bunch of small buffs that made him best healer in the game. Grover. Got unbanned because of his Vine crash. Or, again, when I say unbanned, I'm saying possibly unbanned. Nothing's confirmed that they're unbanned, but they probably will be unbanned because the bugs that were holding him back are now fixed. That's going for Grover and Grohk. Grover, probably playable and competitive. Already good before the ban. S. Ying, amazing character. Easy to use. Great ultimate. Amazing split healing. 3 different sources of healing, which is great for a support. S. Furia, a bunch of constant nerfs over and over and over and over and over and over. Beat her down with the nerf stick. She dropped from one of the best healers to close to the bottom. S-. Seris. She's just been there. She hasn't really been looked at, but I believe in the Seris hype train. I'm on the Seris hype train. I think Seris is undervalued right now. That's why I have her at S- and not any higher or any lower. Grohk, since his Spirit's Domain, his, I would say, best healing legendary, got unbanned. And since he is unbanned himself, and his ultimate's better than a lot of people think, he's staying at A+. Actually, he's going up to A+. Jenos. I hate Jenos. I wish he would get good again. Miss playing him. But the only reason I have him as high as he is because he does have niche uses when it comes to 3 DPS and 4 DPS composition. Jenos, just, you disappoint me. Pip, final one. Combat Medic is good. Mega Potion's good. They're hard to confirm. It's hard to play casually. Competitively, though, it's just not as viable because of Cauterize, because of the high amount of Cauts in the game. Burst healing isn't amazing right now. More healing over time does better into bot meta. So we're gonna dip down at A+, and I hope to see him come back in meta soon. I hope to see all 3 of those champions come into meta. But that's the TLDR. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, let me know what you think down below. Again, this video is a lot of my opinions. There was a couple of hard facts for some champions, why I put them there. But again, it's opinion based, so please don't take this to heart. Please don't say you're wrong, I hate you, terrible, unsubscribing. Just relax, okay? It's cool if you post your own tier list. Just don't rage about mine. You can critique it, that's fine. But this, my opinion, is 100%. It is where it is. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and I also hope you enjoy your day, night, evening, morning, dawn, or dusk, or whatever it is where you live. And I will see you tomorrow for our patch 1.7 overview. Later.